Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated.
Boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to listen to something strange? Come with us and you will see in this podcast about Tim Burton. This is Tim Burton. This is Burton. Kyle screams in the dead of night. This is Tim Burton. Everybody make a scene, trick or treat, till the neighbors come and die of fright. It's our show. Everybody scream in this cast of Tim Burton.
Really proud of you. Really proud of you on that one.
Thank you.
You did good.
I did good.
Yep.
About time. Welcome to Every Man's Guide to Nerdom, where we are two 30 to 40-something-year-olds who talk about pretty much whatever we want. Whatever we want, and we can fuck up like that and start it over again.
Nope.
What? Damn it.
I'm not cutting it out.
Well, I'm still Chris.
And I'm Kyle. And if you guys like to hang out with us live and in person-ish, you can also find us on Twitch. You can find Chris over there at twitch.tv/GUYVERUNT01, Guy Unit 1. And then I'm K-Sig, K_SIG on the Twitches. So come hang out with us, usually Friday and Saturday nights for playing something, and then off and on throughout the week, other things. But Saturday nights, Friday nights, we do a lot of indie games, a lot of indie horror games, even outside of spooky season of October. So we're doing a lot of those. They're good times. They're fun. Come in and hang out with us. Join the Discord down in the show notes. Not the show notes, down the show description below us. Right down there. Join the community. It's growing, like, a little bit. So join and hang out with us. There's some really good conversations going on. If you like comics, if you like anime, if you like video games, movies, TV, wrestling, beer, football, there's stuff for everybody. So go hang out. If you draw stuff, if you're an artist, whatever, there's tons of categories to talk about things in there. So join up. The links are down there. It costs you a click. It's for free.
For free.
So do it. Do it, or we're going to send Chof after you.
Do it, or Chof comes after you.
So we're continuing our we got a theme this month, like everybody else.
Nuts in our hand.
Yeah. Wait. No. Well,
that's every week.
I was turned weird. I didn't know what to do with my hands.
For those of you listening, Kyle just did some weird thing with his hands.
Yeah. Find us on YouTube also if you're just listening. Every Man's Guide to Nerdom. We're there.
Join us.
You can see us live and in the fleshes. So yeah, it's October, which means it's spooky season. That's, we've been talking about spooky stuff. Is this our third spooky episode of the month? It is.
It is our third.
So go back. We've done paranormal investigation,
which was fun.
We didn't investigate. We interviewed.
We tried to.
We tried, and not successfully, but we did interview a husband and wife paranormal investigation team, which was great. They were fun, super cool. Go back and check that out. We've done done a little brief history, and we didn't even get all the way through it. Just like the early phases of scary and spooky and horror video games throughout time.
You get to do that. It'd have
time.
To.
Yeah.
Time.
So yeah, go check those out. I'm trying to do the deadpan thing, and I can't do it. I keep breaking. It's just going to happen.
We broke.
So if you couldn't tell from the beautiful rendition, that original piece that was sung at the beginning of the episode, Chris, what are we talking about tonight?
It's Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Tim
Tim Burton.
Burton. Ha ha ha.
Oh, Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. What
So-
about Tim Burton?
Just a staple of spooky season every year. And Christmas too. But we're in October, so
Pretty much October through Christmas for him.
yeah, just an amazing producer of art. Like
Mhm.
of movies and TV shows, and just super cool. Like this time of year, it's like it's like fall, leaves are changing, fucking pumpkin spice everywhere, and Tim Burton. That's
Pumpkin spice and Tim Burton.
yeah.
I
I bet if we
mean-
made a T-shirt that said pumpkin spice and Tim Burton,
I know someone who
Like-
can.
make it like a ladies' cut shirt, we would sell the shit out of them.
I think you and I need a mesh tank top.
Like to share, or one like we have our own each.
I mean, if that's what you're into, we can
Just
share
like
it. That's
one big top.
just one. It's the get along shirt. It's the get along mesh
We
tank
do,
top.
we do that for the live when we're like together to record an episode. We're just in one shirt.
It's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Knack, knack.
So, Tim Burton, he's known as somewhat of an oddball in Hollywood,
Mhm.
which is super impressive by itself. Because, you've always heard the joke, it's Holly weird, and there's shit that happens there that only happens there.
And then you have the shit that Tim Burton does.
And then you got the shit Tim Burton does, because it's interesting that he's considered the oddball there
Mhm.
when you hear all the weird shit that the celebrities do.
Yeah.
It's
Lots
like
of like all the cocaine.
all the cocaine and
Yeah.
like the cryo chambers and just everything else, all the other stories you've ever
Mhm.
heard. Gerbils and socks and Richard Gere, and
Yeah, they're all true.
they're all 100%, but they're just, a guy who likes his spooky stuff
Mhm.
is an oddball.
Well, and he's got his style is it's weird because everything's different, but it's all recognizable for the most part.
Right.
There's just this like Tim Burton look to a lot of his films and TV shows that you just know. And then there's some stuff that he did that I didn't know, or that he had a hand in that I didn't know. And then there was some stuff
I didn't either.
that was like I think I found some like canceled projects list, like things that he was almost tied to, that like he ended up not doing. I was trying to find that list again. Oh, I had it this morning. I didn't save it. But there was oh, here we go. Tim Burton's Unrealized projects. There was a lot of cool stuff that his name was being tossed around for, that for one reason or another they didn't do, either creative differences or just timing. He had other
Right.
projects going that he wasn't able to be a part of. But it makes you, and some of these are like big properties that he ended up not being involved in. So you just kind of wonder, like, what's that other dimension look like? Where, Tim Burton,
I'll tell you, it's fucking weird.
where he made all of his. So we'll go over a bunch of those later too.
And this is why I love it.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. I wouldn't consider myself like a super fan, but I
We're
am.
fans.
We're fans. It's cool stuff to watch.
I'm trying to think how to expand on that. I mean, you pretty much hit it. There's no other way to expand on that.
Well, I hit it. Let's
It's-
quit it. So
I will never hit it and quit it, sir.
okay,
I can't.
that's
quit
fair.
you.
We should
So-
start at the beginning. Of Tim.
At the beginning,
Mhm.
God created man and
And-
stop motion films.
Let me know when you get to it. It's gonna be a little bit then. I'll be back.
God created man and stop motion films, and then he created out of clay Tim Walter Burton, born on August 25th of 1958.
how the hell his middle name Walter?
I mean, Walter's really not a middle name, is it? It's
No.
like that's like your name is Tim, Fred, Burton.
Yeah.
Tim. Well, I guess I don't know. William Walter's not really. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't go along with a spooky persona either.
Well, he wasn't spooky when he was born. He became spooky. Like you don't know what the baby's going
Do
to
we
be.
know that? Maybe he came out with red eyes and like spouting like scripture.
I read a quote from him. I don't know if we had this in the notes or not, but talking about the weirdness of him and Hollywood and all that.
Mhm.
And he had made a comment at one time and said, even if I wore a clown suit and was happy and jovial all the time, people would think I was the weird, creepy guy because of what, he puts on the screen. It's pretty cool.
It kind of makes me sad
Why?
'cause,
Because you haven't made anything like that?
because I haven't made anything like that. Well, and it's like, here at EGTN, we celebrate diversity. Like
Mhm.
that's what we're all about. And then it's like, we want everyone to feel good, that you want everyone to feel comfortable in their own skin. And I mean, then again, we don't know he's not, but I'm just saying, like a quote like that just makes you wonder.
Could be.
Could be wrong. I could just be projecting.
Just projecting it out there.
I'm just projecting.
Here's
Um,
A
Mhm.
cool little thing that I found in the story talking about him in his early life. His mother, Jean Burton, was the owner of a cat-themed gift shop.
no shit.
That's extremely specific. Not just a gift shop. Cat-themed.
Cat theme.
Cat
you think-
themed.
That they have a cat that eats lasagna in there all the time, and it's like, I hate Mondays.
I hate Mondays. John,
John Odie.
Odie,
So yeah,
and
that's
his
actually kind of cool.
his father, Bill Burton, was
Burton.
a former minor league baseball player. That sounds like a baseball name.
Bill
you know,
Burton. Yeah, it
yeah.
does.
Bill Burton.
Sounds
was
like he
prob-
plays right field.
Yeah, right field, maybe third base. Kind of sounds like a third baseman.
That means he's got a hell of an arm on him.
So it'd be like,
Get on. Oh, damn it.
Wrong one.
wrong button. There we go. And on third, Bill Burton. Yeah. So I mean, he's got his, his style. And we're going to hit on that. Like he's known for his gothic films and his horror films, but that's not all he's. I mean, he's done a bunch of other things too.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a specific style that when you see it, but the one like we've talked about, the stuff that doesn't fit in that mold is pretty interesting. And it probably all comes from like his preteen years, I would say.
Yep.
Like he started off like his interest in film started when he was 13. That was one of his earliest known films was made when he was 13, The Island of Dr. Agor. And like you hear about like Spielberg and Lucas and all those shooting things on 8mm. Same thing with Burton. He got his start with 8mm film.
What kind of
Was it-
film was it? Do you know? Was it like live action? Did he use actors? Did he?
Oh,
use
I thought you meant like the brand of film. Like
No,
using Kodak.
no. I want to know
or-
how he did it when he was like 13.
No, he was doing stop action.
Oh, just like he was doing now.
Yeah, like that's
What he's
one
known
thing
for.
he's really well known for is stop action, and that's how he started. And so that was there early.
What do you think got him onto stop motion? Do you think it was like I was trying to dig down into this and I couldn't find it. Do you think it was like the Rankin and Bass stuff? Because that's some of the earlier stop motion. Do you think it was? You think he was influenced by that kind of stuff?
Could have been that. It could have been just the accessibility of it. I mean, if you think about it, like this is I could be way wrong on this, but I'm thinking just as a kid, you have your toys and you're playing with your toys and you're always like acting things out with them, your G.I. Joes or your dinosaurs or whatever you have, and you're moving them around. And so that would be probably the easiest and most natural transition would be to go from playing with them. And if you're going to film them, doing little stop motion stuff. 'Cause I think Spielberg and Lucas both did that too. Some type of stop motion at some point.
That
Pretty
sounds
sure
right. Well, I mean, they did it. Lucas did that in Star Wars.
Yeah.
With like the AT-ATs and the Tauntaun.
So
That's all stop motion. So yeah. The
Yeah.
Rancor.
So maybe just this, because they're all close-ish. Well, they're older than Burton, but still, that stop motion, style that he started with carried through for many years. He wasn't school-wise, wasn't that great in school.
He was like Einstein, kind of.
Like what you he did play water polo. He liked to paint.
Which is weird. You wouldn't think of him as a water polo guy.
That'd be a water poloist.
He's
Water poloer.
He's a poloist.
He's a poloist.
He's a poloist.
Painted and drew and watched movies. His early stuff, and when he was a kid, and then his movies, this really makes sense now that I read it out loud, that he was heavily influenced by Dr. Seuss and Ronald Dahl.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can totally see that. He's
like a darker version of them.
He's a way dark. Well, I mean, Ronald Dahl's not exactly cheery either.
Well, no. He's like a darker Seuss.
Darker Seuss.
Mm-hmm.
Darker Seuss.
Darker Seuss.
That's Dr. Seuss's voodoo witch doctor brother.
Mm-hmm. Darker Seuss. Also known as Tim Burton.
Also known as Walter.
Yeah.
Walter. You can tell he was influenced a lot by Seuss and Dahl. If you, like you were saying, like if you think about it, like look at all the shit he's done.
Mm-hmm.
Look at his movies, and we'll get more into these movies later.
Just the imagery of it. I immediately am thinking of Beetlejuice and the imagery of, like the first thing that popped in my head were the sandworms.
Yeah,
that's like
Beetlejuice.
A trippy Dr. Seuss scene.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah, it's like if Dr. Seuss did some acid and then like got kicked in the nuts. And they're like, this is what we're going to do now.
The snooze-its and what's it in the sand.
Mean eggs and sand.
Mean eggs and sand. I will not eat your hand. So yeah, you can definitely tell that. When he went to, what was it? I forget. I don't think I put that down. Well, he went to college at the California Institute of the Arts in Valencia, Santa Clarita,
mm-hmm.
to study character animation, oddly enough. When I say oddly enough, it's because, we know him for a lot of live action stuff, but the character animation is, I think, what we know him best for.
Well, and just the actual pen and pencil and color animation, how he got his start with that.
Right.
Because he made a short called Stalk of the Celery Monster and King Octopus.
King and Octopus.
King and Octopus. There we go. I read it wrong.
King Octopus is a different one that you and I watched.
That's a whole different. Don't look that up.
Don't look that up.
King and Octopus. So why were those movies important?
Well, because Stalk of the Celery Monster, which is just a super clever name to begin with, it attracted the Disney Productions animation division, who we all know is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
They saw
a little
it,
bit,
and they were super impressed by it, and they offered him an apprenticeship because of it, because of something that they saw of his. So they sought him out, which is really freaking cool.
Yep. And the works that they put him on it's just classic, those three movies. He worked as an animator, storyboard artist, graphic designer, art director, and concept artist on films The Fox and the Hound in 81, Tron in
Which is
82,
awesome.
Black Cauldron in 85. So 3 awesome movies. Fox and the Hound is one of my all-time favorite movies, hands down.
I'm a hound dog.
No, woo, woo, woo. If that movie doesn't make you tear up a little bit here and there, you're a dick.
You are a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Chof.
Chof.
Um,
doesn't cry during Fox and the Hound, or Bambi, or Old Yeller, or Titanic,
he
or
does
Mars
cry.
Attacks.
He does cry at Amazon Women a Go-Go, though.
I mean, who doesn't?
That's true, too.
Yeah, it's a sad coming of age tale. So
Literally the tail.
he got he got to help. Those were his first, I guess, 3 like official professional projects. But the concept art he made like never made it to the finished films. I want to see what Tim Burton freaking Fox and the Hound concept, like the owl. What was her name?
Hootie McHooterson? I don't.
Mama something. Anyway, I would like to see like the Tim Burtonized version of Fox and the Hound.
Yeah, I agree.
I just want to see what he drew. It's probably
Well-
out there. Somebody probably ended up in a trash can.
I
Or
can
like-
see him working on Tron also. Tron's pretty dark.
Yeah. Well, it's got a lot of neon lights.
It
Yeah,
does.
It's flashy.
It is flashy. You dick. And then we have the Black Cauldron, which is a littler known Disney movie.
Mhm.
Which I love that movie. It is freaky though. I could totally see him having his hand in the Black Cauldron, just because of the style that it's in.
It's been a long time since I've watched that movie.
I love that movie.
A long time.
I really love that movie. If you haven't watched it, do yourself a favor. It's
Mhm.
not your traditional Disney movie, though. So don't come bitching to us when you're like, hey, there, where she wasn't under the sea and the lightning bug. And then the beast came and there was a rose and then her hair was long. And then she sang about the sea.
That would have been a good one to get Burtonized as well. That's the term I'm going to use through this. For things that he didn't actually get to do, Burtonized.
We got Burtonized.
He did get to Burtonize something there while he was there, though.
What was that?
His first short,
Ooh, what was
Ooh.
it called?
Vincent, and it was a stop action or stop motion film. So there it is. There's, carrying that stop motion through. It was based on a poem written by Burton, which depicts a young boy who fantasizes that his hero, Vincent Price, or that he is his hero, Vincent Price, and Price actually did the narration. So Vincent Price is freaking awesome. Anyway,
Yeah. Which,
Just
how
like-
awesome would that have been?
the godfather of creepy. And so, he was young there. So this was in 82. He was born in 58. So he was 24.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why
so
not?
he was 24 making a movie with, did I do my math right? 20, 78, 24. Yeah. 24 years old, doing a movie about a poem that he wrote about his hero, one of his heroes, Vincent Price, with Vincent Price able to narrate for that. Like at 24 years old. How freaking awesome is that?
And you're just an intern.
You're just grabbing coffee and drawing foxes.
Maybe that's that was his concept art. Which
Mhm.
one was the fox? Was that Todd?
Yeah. No, yeah. Todd was the fox.
Todd was the fox, and
Copper was the hound dog.
that's right. You think it dealt with Todd inviting Copper over to his burrow, and he locks Copper up for a couple weeks, and then all the rest of the hound dogs are on the hunt for Todd, and he comes out wearing Todd's skin. He goes, "That's the Burtonized version."
I want to see that made.
Like, except it's like not even like a skin tight good ripping of it. He just literally sloppily ripped it off, and it's
Just
like,
a cape of him on there.
and it's like, why does your mouth look all weird? Don't worry about it.
We need to see that version.
I would actually pay to see that version.
Why are we not funding this? When get somebody throw some money at this.
Let's start a crowdfund for this.
Mhm. So he got his
So-
he got his Vincent short made.
Hey guys, we're back to this.
So we're back to that. We're coming back. We veer off occasionally, but we're coming back. And it was produced by Rick Heinrichs.
Heinrichs. Yep. And remember that name
Remember that name.
because he and Rick had a long history together.
So that was a friend he made while he was doing his concept art at Disney. And then that film got shown at Chicago Film Festival alongside teen drama Tex for 2 weeks in one Los Angeles cinema. So it got a lot of exposure. That was probably a good kicking off point for him. He did some other things, he did a lot of other things after that, but before he actually really, I think we're like a year away from his stuff that we'll know that he did. Did I word that right? That sound
Yep.
okay.
That sounds exactly right.
So what did he do next?
So next, he actually did his first live action production. It was Hansel and Gretel, believe it or not. Are you guys seeing a theme here?
Yeah.
It
Dark
was a
fairy
Japanese, really dark fairy tales. A Japanese themed adaptation of the Brothers Grimm fairy tale for the Disney Channel. So he actually did this as a Disney Channel, I don't know if it was a special or a movie. I couldn't find that part out.
Was the Disney Channel around that back then?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know it was that old. I thought it came out in the 90s.
Mickey Mouse Club, dude.
Okay. Well, maybe I just realized. Maybe that's when my grandma actually paid the money to get the Disney Channel. It was like in 89, 90. That we go watch it because she had the cables.
She had the cables.
Yeah.
But
Learned something new today.
What set this movie apart from other adaptations? There was actually a kung fu fight between Hansel and Gretel and the witch at the end of it. Not your traditional Brothers Grimm ending.
That's how they originally wrote it. If you go look it up. Yeah.
There was kung
Hansel
fu
and Gretel
fighting.
was a kung fu samurai tale of love and deception.
Did Carl Douglas come in and start singing to him?
No, but Kirk Douglas showed up.
Showed up.
I can't think of a good Kirk Douglas joke, but he
We
was
just
there.
made it. He was there. So if you all again aren't telling, there's a definite theme. And for those who don't know, Brothers Grimm's, it's like the Facebooks.
The
The
Facebooks
Brothers
and the
Grimm
sushis.
with the sushis. Brothers Grimm. The original stories were dark as shit.
Yeah.
And evil.
Well, a lot of the quote unquote fairy
Mhm.
tale stuff that we knew growing up, we got the Disney-fied version of them.
Yeah.
When we should have been getting the Burtonized,
Burtonified.
Burtonized. We should be getting the Burtonized version of them
Burtonized.
because they weren't super cheery. A lot of them were pretty dark. A lot of them were some of the Disney movies were maybe taken from other properties and things, maybe a little influence that they didn't give any credit to, but that's neither here nor there. Whatever.
So it aired once in 1983 at 10:30 p.m. on Halloween, and then it was shelved as soon as literally when it ended. Let's say it ended at 11:30, they shelved it.
Yep. Like, oh,
They
fucked
and
up,
this is
Jim.
it's fucked up. You can't find prints of this. If you can, they are worth a lot of money.
I wonder
But
if there's anywhere you could
can't
actually
find these.
still watch that.
I bet the YouTube has it.
I'm looking really quick. Carry on, sir.
Okay. So, but they're hard to locate. That's what fueled all these rumors that the project never even existed when in fact it did, and it was shown once. They finally put it on display. It was a short movie. It would go on public display in 2009 at the Museum of Modern Art, and again in 2011 as part of the Tim Burton art exhibit at the LACMA.
I think I found it.
And then it was shown again in 2012 in the Seoul Museum of Art. You find it?
Mm-hmm.
YouTube's?
Mm-hmm. And it's weird as shit.
And Kyle is now in snakebite videos.
What? This is... It's weird. Yep, it's definitely... I can see maybe why they're like, we're not going to play this again on the Disney Channel. Holy shit, that's terrifying. Is there an explosion?
Probably.
What? Yeah, something blew up. That pillow turned into an egg. Oh, she's eating the gingerbread man. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of weird shit going on in this. I'm going to have to watch this later.
You act like it's weird.
I mean, I've seen weirder, but I wasn't expecting, like, I know that I'm going to be seeing weird when I see that kind of weirder, but this I wasn't ready for. Nobody prepped me.
Somebody stop him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm going to go look this up after we get in with the show. So you guys do yourself a favor. Go look it up too.
You can go watch it. It's like 34 minutes long. It is out there on YouTube. I'm going to assume that's what it is. That's got to be the right thing.
So now we are at 1984.
I think this is where we started getting into stuff that people are more
all know.
familiar with. Yeah.
Yeah. Like this was his next live action film and actually one of my favorites.
Hmm?
What movie was it, Kyle?
Frankenweenie.
Frankenweenie.
So I got introduced to this movie in college. It was one of my... Mhm.
Whoa.
Yeah, Frankenweenie. I just realized how bad this is all going to sound
That
now.
sounds so bad now.
It's about to get worse.
He was young and needed the money.
So my roommate at the time told me I needed to watch this movie. It was one of his favorite movies ever. My roommate, Frank.
Frank, I don't think you're listening to our show either. I'm calling you out.
I'm trying to get Frank on this. So he's like, hey, you need to come, watch Frankenweenie. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing in your spare time. This weird unlabeled VHS tape. I don't know if it's the same version you watched.
Did Frank come into the room one day and his pants were off? He was wearing like just an undershirt. Said, hey, you want to watch this movie about a weenie?
Holding a Sony Handycam. It was early 2000s. Yeah, so I saw a different version than you saw.
Yeah. A well-worn version.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a full-length feature, but...
There's our dick joke.
There's the dick joke. But, okay, but the actual movie, the concept is really cool.
What's Frankenweenie about?
Well, it's about a boy and his dog. His dog dies. It's basically Frankenstein with a wiener dog.
Made for kids and
Made
families.
for kids in 84. Disney didn't agree
No, not
After it was
at
made.
all.
because they fired his ass.
Like quickly.
Mm-hmm. Like,
You know why they fired him?
Well, because they thought he was I don't know if wasting would be the word. Maybe under the pretext of that he was using studio resources to make a children's film that was too dark and scary for children. It wasn't scary. It was
I can
cool.
see how it would be considered dark in 84 though.
It was heartwarming. It was a heartwarming tale of a boy that would do anything to bring his dog back.
Didn't
After
do
he lost-
anything for his weenie.
Mm-hmm. It's like the anti-Old Yeller. This one, he brings him back to life.
Old Yeller, you came back Yeller.
Mm-hmm. It's old
Old
black and white.
Yeller. Old Yeller would have had a whole new movie
Mhm.
had he brought him back.
That's what we needed. We need Old Yeller rebooted and Burtonized.
Franken Yeller,
Old Franken Yeller.
old Weenier, old weenie.
Wait,
No,
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 no.
that's a different movie.
That's another different movie. You guys, let
That's
us
Disney
know in the
After Dark.
Discord after you watch that one. Your thoughts. Share it with Chris and Chove.
Hughes.
So he moved on from here, and
Well,
there-
because he went through like basically a slow, a little bit of depression because of this.
he he lost
He
his
thought he made a
awesome
good movie.
job. He did make a good movie.
I
Frankenweenie is
agree,
a cool
and you
movie.
agree.
Yeah, we're all
But
that
you know what I
matters.
mean.
Fuck you, Disney. They came back around. And so after Frankenweenie, an actor saw Frankenweenie and chose Burton to direct a cinematic spin-off of one of his popular children's characters. The actor was Paul Rubens.
Wait, who is that?
That's Pee-wee. Pee-wee Herman.
Hey, Pee Wee.
And I learned a little bit about Pee-wee going through this. So I did. Apparently, Pee-wee started as a stage show. Did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Did he have the movie before he had the TV show?
No, he had the TV show first.
First, okay.
Yeah.
Pee-wee's Playhouse. But then
At Pee Wee's Playhouse. Do-do-do-do-do.
such a
Wow.
iconic time.
Up.
But yeah, so he got to do Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Which I totally forgot that Burton directed Pee Wee's Big Adventure. I completely forgot about that.
Well, I knew he did the same thing. Like, there's some things as we were going through this, like, oh, I remember that he did that now.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody, like, okay, we're going to pull away for a second here. I would say a vast majority of people, when you say Tim Burton, they're going to think of maybe 3 movies.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas is always going to come up.
Corpse Bride.
Corpse Bride,
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Those 3, especially this time of year, that's like you bring that up, and that's a big majority of people are going to, that's the ones that are going to gravitate. There's so many things that he did that was kind of outside. And there's some on here that I've known that he's done for a long time that I've never watched that I want to watch. We'll get to those too.
Well, and then we're getting ready to come up on one. I completely forgot he did.
Okay.
And it's one of my favorite movies.
It's probably the one that I want to watch. I'm going to guess it when we get to it.
I bet it's not, because I know for a fact you've seen it.
All right, we'll see.
But I
might surprise you.
Paul Rubens.
So Paul Rubens. So he had a budget of $8 million to make this movie. The movie made $40 million in
just in North America.
Yeah, just the North American box office. So this is another staple of what he does: is low budget, high return.
He's a studio's dream.
Yep. And this is also the first time he worked with a certain songwriter, musical artist, Danny Elfman.
From
Oingo Boingo at the time.
Because if you guys remember Oingo Boingo, they were part of the New Wave movement. They had such hits as Weird Science, theme songs from Weird Science, Dead Man's Party. Do you remember what movie that was in?
That was it was the Rodney Dangerfield movie. Was it Back to School? Or
it was Back to School.
Back to School.
With the triple, whatever the flip was, the triple deke or whatever. That's impossible.
Then that song was also featured in
and
the
Hot
book.
Lips was
not the movie, but it was in Ready Player One.
Oh yeah.
Then after I read the book, they had me going back to listen to a bunch of, like, I went down a Danny Elfman rabbit hole for like a week after that, and you know, this is the first time they worked together, and they worked together a lot after this. He's, you know, have here that Elfman scored every film that Burton's directed except for Ed Wood, Sweeney Todd, and Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
So, I did not like that movie, by the way.
I don't think I watched
I heard
it.
the books are good.
I've heard the books are good.
The movie, I couldn't even get through it. And you know me, I love movies.
Yep.
I literally could not get through it. I'm really surprised that he didn't do Sweeney Todd, because
that fits. Like, Sweeney Todd fits the Elfman style too. Yeah.
It would have, but you know, and he just didn't. Wasn't Sweeney Todd, correct me if I'm wrong, it was a Broadway musical, right?
Well, maybe. I'm not totally sure on that.
Sweeney Todd, fictional character who first appeared as the villain of the Victorian Penny Dreadful series, The String of Pearls.
Oh, so that's from Penny Dread. Okay. Something else I need to watch.
I swear that they did that.
Yeah, so Elfman did a lot of stuff. I mean, we could do a whole freaking episode on Danny Elfman.
We really
Like,
could.
We could do probably just as long or longer than what we're doing for Burton here. And so,
Okay.
but he, we're on. Let's get off our Pee Wee. Oh, that was pretty good. Then he went on to direct some episodes for Alfred Hitchcock Presents and Shelley Duvall's Fairy Tale Theater.
Okay, so the Alfred Hitchcock Presents, that is the remake. There was
Okay.
the original, and this is the remake in the mid to late 80s.
Oh, okay.
He was part of.
See, all you youngins that think reboots are the new thing of the future,
No.
shit's been happening for a while. There's more reboots through this
So, and
list
then
too.
Shelley Duvall's Fairy Tale Theater, I used to love that. Robin Williams was in an episode. Like, she had all sorts of people in there. Like, it was just a great series.
Hmm.
And he directed a bunch of them and helped write them.
I don't think I ever watched Fairy Tale Theater.
I guarantee you have.
Or I probably, well,
You
that would
just
have
don't
been,
know you did.
that would have been coming into the mid 80s to later
Mhm.
80s. Everything just all runs together there.
It really does.
I was an extremely busy 5-year-old. So
Mostly with his hands down his pants, much like
Mhm.
his adult years.
yeah, not much has changed.
No. And then, so now we're in the late 80s at this point.
This is so great.
Then we get to 1988 for, hold on.
Are you gonna be able to do it? Just think.
As I ponder, weak and wary, so I go to someplace scary. Shit, I can't remember the rest. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up
Beetlejuice.
real quick. So that was actually from the animated show, The Beetlejuice.
Which I think I actually watched before the movie because I was a kid.
I have the whole series on DVD.
Oh, these came out. Okay, so this would make sense because they came out really close to the same time. The movie came out in 88. The animated series came out in 89. And I used to watch that cartoon over. Like, if it was on, I was watching it.
Okay, here it is. Though I was close. Though I know I should be wary, still I venture someplace scary. Ghostly haunting, I turn loose. Beetlejuice.
So looking at the cartoon, I know we're going to talk about the movie, but I've got this up and I got to get it out now. This thought out now that I've got the IMDb.
Go.
Yeah. So context is really important there. Someone that did some voices in that
Mhm.
was Tara Strong.
Yeah, she was Claire, the mean girl.
Yep. She was Claire several times. Bertha, a lot of additional voices. We've seen her recently in Loki, or we've heard her recently in Loki.
As
Miss Minutes.
Miss Minutes.
Mhm.
Claire Strong, who's done everything.
Pretty much.
Like, and I will tell you, I loved the Beetlejuice cartoon.
I did
It
too.
was so funny. It was Jacques the Skeleton, and then Monster Next Door. Beetlejuice.
Mhm.
Like, it was great.
I know I watched the cartoon before I watched the movie now because I remember watching the movie like, this is a little different.
On that, yeah, because it was dark, and you could tell it's based off. Now that I'm older, you can tell it's definitely based off of Tim Burton shit,
Mhm.
which is really cool by itself.
There's so many cool characters that they're just the visuals from that. I mean, the sandworms, and you see the sandworms in I think Nightmare Before Christmas too, or like a kind of a version ish of them. You see that black and white striped color scheme.
Right.
Black and white shows up a lot in his work. Either just in the total, just like Frankenweenie was all black and white. If I remember
Mhm.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
To Sweeney Todd and Nightmare Before Christmas. There's just a lot of black and white and stripes.
Oh, no shit. So the guy who did Beetlejuice's voice
Uh-huh.
in the animated.
Yep.
I thought he did a great job. He
Mhm.
did a lot for Sam and Max, Freelance Police, which was a great game. He was also in X-Men the Animated Series
I see that.
as Archangel
That's
and
cool.
Cameron Hodge in the Phalanx. Phalanx?
He did a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. And he's still acting, if you look.
Mhm. He's still alive.
Yeah.
Sure is. You
He
go,
was just in
Stephen.
something
Omelet.
2019.
Oi,
You-
man.
Stephen Omelet.
Glanced around. It's really close. It's Oi. I think it's probably Oi, man.
I bet it's Oimet. We'd love to have you on the show.
So let's talk about the movie.
Okay, the movie.
So
Which
this is the
was-
first time he worked with Michael Keaton.
Okay, and I will tell you, I remember watching this in the theaters,
Mhm.
going, this movie is weird.
It was.
It kind of freaked me out as a little kid.
As it should have. I mean, there was a lot of pretty dark, odd
What was
stuff. Like,
And
when they're in the waiting room for, when they're fresh dead and Juno, is it Juno? Yeah, Juno's there. The eyeballs are trying to learn how to haunt and scare stuff. They finally see Beetlejuice. You see a early appearance of Jack Skellington.
Mhm.
His head's on the, what was it here? Beetlejuice's carnival hat is the thing.
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? No. This is a good look for me. What do you think?
That's pretty close. That's pretty good.
It's closer.
That was closer. And we get Deo.
Day, which I think is the only reason a lot of people know the Banana Boat song.
Yeah, when I hear that song, I think of that movie.
Day. I really do think that's the only reason some people know that.
So just a really cool, iconic movie for the late 80s. Got his workings in with Michael Keaton, which was freaking hilarious in it. But what's kind of interesting, so Beetlejuice, played by Michael Keaton, namesake of the movie, the main character of the movie, is only on screen for 17 and a half minutes for the whole run.
Was it really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Michael Keaton was on set for 2 weeks, and he's on screen for 17 and a half minutes. Give or take a little bit.
So,
Because the movie was really about the husband and wife. I forget their names now.
Rick and Morty.
Jack and Diane. Was his name?
It was Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
But Adam and can't remember the wife's name. To the IMDb. But yeah, it was mostly about them. I didn't think about that. He was only in for 17 minutes. So
Yeah. I mean,
well, and then
it's been
you
a
also
long
have-
time since I've watched it.
I
But
love
when
it.
you
I'm
really
gonna
think
have to
about
rewatch
it, he wasn't in there. Wasn't there a whole lot.
Mm-mm.
Um,
And he was vulgar too.
Yep.
And like the reason we said it 3 times, you had to say his name 3 times to summon him.
Mhm.
And I
Like
love how
Candyman.
you put in the notes here too, the real spelling of Beetlejuice too, like the demonic spelling.
oh yeah,
Beetlejuice.
Beetlegeuse, I think.
Betelgeuse. Yep.
Mhm.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Also, we see a very young. I mean, there's a few pretty good names and very recognizable faces in. I mean, Catherine O'Hara is in there,
I love her and the baby.
and the baby. A very young Winona Ryder.
Pre-klepto.
Yeah, before she went off her rocker.
Still hot.
So they're in first time he's working with her, works with her again soon, very soon. Was it his very next movie? It was not, but it was pretty close.
It was not. Yep.
So yeah, that came out in 88. Then in 89 is
dun 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 Batman.
One of the biggest, I guess promotion campaigns for a movie at that time.
It was awesome. I remember
huge,
getting so pumped about it.
Huge marketing and merchandise campaign. Massive. I don't even remember what movie it was, but the intro, you had the all the stuff before the movie, the previews and all that. But there was a thing with, I think it was Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny and something. And there was this whole Batman thing in the previews for it. Huge marketing campaign, and this, I think, really helped solidify with what we like to see in superhero movies now.
Yep.
Because up to this point, you think of your Batmans and your Superman movies and things that happened. They were pretty lighthearted, super colorful, and then they get Burtonized.
And
we get to see Michael Keaton working with Tim Burton again, which was criticized at the time because up to that point, Keaton was just a comedic
Mr.
actor.
Mom.
Yeah. He was known for being funny.
Well, I'll tell you what I remember off of this movie. Our band at the K through 12 school I went through did a dance to this. Prince did the song, if you remember that.
Yeah.
The Batman.
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun. And really, bass heavy. And this town needs an enema. Always remember that one.
There's a lot of good lines from it. I thought what you had here was cool because he caught a lot of flack from the fanboys. Fanboys have been around forever for casting Keaton as Batman. And I like what Burton said. He said he considered it ridiculous to cast a bulked up ultra masculine man as Batman. Insisted that Batman should be an ordinary man who dressed up in an elaborate bat costume to frighten criminals. So he, ditched the notion, which we ended up seeing later in other Batmans, but with this super buff, whatever. He was just a dude in a bat suit kicking ass.
Yep.
And did the voice.
Not the Christian Bale.
No. And did the voice so good. Like that's where we get, I think that's where we get our modern Batman voice.
Would you think, is that where Kevin Conroy based his off of?
Probably. I think all your Batman from that point on were like, okay,
based off of that.
Keaton did it dark and gravelly when he was talking as Batman. And when he was Bruce Wayne, he wasn't. He didn't have that gravel in his voice as much. So I think from that point on, that's how Batman sounds.
So, and to me, Kevin Conroy is always going to be the ultimate Batman. Like just the voice, at least.
Yeah.
Keaton was my favorite Batman to date. Bale was good.
I'll stick with that.
Val Kilmer, not so much. Clooney can go bye-bye. Jury's up in the air about Robert. What is it, Pattinson?
We'll see. I'm going to withhold judgment. Yes.
It doesn't matter.
I'm going to withhold judgment until I see.
I think it looks like an interesting take. I think it looks like a very Burtonized version of the movie.
Isn't? No, Michael Keaton's coming back in Flash.
Right. Yeah.
Flash movie.
As probably Batman Beyond.
Yeah. He did do some So there were some creative choices that Burton made in this as well to kind of pacify some people because we get Jack Nicholson as the Joker,
which was awesome.
which until we got he was Joker until we got Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
And still I'm putting Jack just like right behind him, just right there because Jack Nicholson was awesome. But I didn't know Tim Curry was in the running and played Joker as well, which could have been cool.
I didn't either.
But
Bring me the Batman.
Well, it could have worked.
but the movie made some bank. Grossed $400 million, not adjusted for inflation worldwide at the time. $400 million in '89. That's a shit ton of money.
Jesus.
And so, that kind of locked him in to do really well. Established him as a profitable director. And, it was a huge influence on superhero films going further. And, you're talking about Conroy and the voice and all that, the 90s, the animated Batman's movies shows. Anyway, so that the Batman animated series, the darkness, the grittiness that you see in '89's Batman kind of influenced that a lot because that was a darker Batman cartoon. Really cool one. So where did he get his influence though? Because he was admittedly not a big comic reader when he got this.
No, he didn't. I'm trying to think how to put this. He wasn't a comic reader, but he's always loved the imagery and like what the Batman and Joker represent. One's order, darkness and order, and one's chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, and the Joker's not a great fighter. The Joker's biggest power is that he's sadistic and doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And
he's
that's
manipulative and
and that's something that Batman just can't. He can try and understand how the Joker thinks to predict what he's going to do, but I don't think he can ever. That's one thing that's always been the dynamic between Batman and Joker is Batman can never fully understand what's going on in the Joker's head. And so Burton said that another reason he never really was a comic book fan was when he was a kid, he could never tell which box he was supposed to read.
Yep.
And he's like, I don't know if it's dyslexia, so he might be dyslexic.
Maybe.
I've never seen anything saying otherwise.
Yeah.
He is actually a pretty private person. But he said one of his earliest memories was of the Killing Joke of a comic. And he said, that's the first comic I ever loved because it was just easy to read. Because it could tell which way you were supposed to go, which box to read. And he said, because of the success of those graphic novels, that just made it so much easier for our ideas to become accepted.
What was it? Killing Joke came out, 82? 81? Early 80s.
Yeah, I don't remember. Killing Joke. Which, by the way, is a brutal, brutal fucking Batman.
Came out in 88.
88.
So same year
time.
as the movie?
Yeah.
How?
Isn't that nuts?
So did he just like plow through and like, all right, let's make a movie and release it this year?
I could see why he'd like Alan Moore's stuff though. It's just dark.
I need to read that.
It's good. I'll loan it to you.
So he went on from Batman, and you'll notice like he's got his group of actors. If he gets one that he likes, he tries to pull them into multiple projects going down the road.
It's his peeps.
It's his peeps. He does it with Michael Keaton. He had Jack Nicholson in this movie. We're going to see him again later in some movie. Don't know which one. And then in 1990, we get Edward Scissorhands. He gets Winona Ryder back. This is his first time casting Johnny Depp. So, it's his friend at the time, Johnny Depp, is the lead. And Edward Scissorhands is like considered one of his best movies.
Arguably.
Mhm.
Because of the story.
Mhm.
It even spawned one of the earlier porn knockoffs.
Oh, yeah. Edward Penis Hands.
No, Edward Penis Fingers.
I thought it was Penis Hands. I'm not
Penis
Googling
fingers.
this. You're trying to trick me.
No,
I'm
it's
Googling.
Edward Penis Fingers.
Hold on. Let me pull up an incognito tab here. You carry on.
Okay, it's Edward Penis Fingers.
New incognito window.
The second movie with Winona Ryder, Johnny Depp in the lead, and the character was actually based on a drawing he did in high school,
Penis Hands.
like Kyle was saying, which is just penis hands. So
Hold
it's
on.
real-
Do we want to take bets on who was right?
apparently you were.
Hold on, let's see if there's one for yours too. Penis Fingers. Nope. Kyle
It's
was
penis
right.
hands.
Edward Penis Hands. Came out in 91.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You were right about the penis hand movie.
Starring Sicky Nix, Gina Fine, Ashley Nicole, John Doe, Dough.
Hey, he's famous in the 90s.
Yeah, let's see what else is he in. Okay, we're going down a weird rabbit hole. We don't need to be doing this right now. Okay, so
Kyle, we all of a sudden we went from Kyle's and we hear zip.
yeah, if you don't hear from me in the morning, come down here and delete my browser history, please.
I will do that.
Thank you, sir. Good friend.
Good friend. Okay. So we have Edward Penis Hands. It was I remember it was a freaky movie, but it was good.
It was good. What I remember most, because I think I only watched
saw
it a
that in
couple
the
times when I
theater,
was
too.
younger, was the waterbed scene when he's like,
Oh yeah, I remember the hair salon scene.
oh yeah,
Yep. I feel beautiful.
there were some big names that were almost tied to this movie.
Like who?
Well, they're saying that Burton really wanted, or not Burton, Fox, because this is produced or ran through 20th Century Fox, really wanted Tom Cruise in the title role.
Really?
Tom
I'm glad
Hanks
he
was,
didn't.
yeah, Tom Hanks was offered. Could you imagine Tom Hanks, Mr. Forrest Gump himself, as Edward Scissorhands?
I don't know what hair is. You mean that? I don't know what hair is. Like,
Oh shit!
I didn't know about the Tom Cruise would have been terrible.
And apparently, Michael Jackson was even interested in the role, which that could have been interesting.
I'm trying so hard not to make this joke right now.
Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. Edward hands.
Scissorhands.
That would have made the Edward Penis Hands much weirder.
Like, in another thing that kind of parallels Beetlejuice a little bit earlier works, Johnny Depp only says 169 words in Edward Scissorhands. So you got another instance of the main character, the title character, not having a ton of, Beetlejuice talked a lot, but kind of similar, same thing. Just not a lot of talking.
No, talk it.
So his next movie was Batman Returns, which Batman Returns was good.
I liked Batman Returns.
I did too. That was probably the last Batman movie that, going back now, like, I liked all the ones after that when I was younger because, we're young and we don't know any better.
Right.
But going back, like, it stopped at Batman Returns. So probably the last one that I really liked that I would go back and watch again until we get to the, the Christopher Nolan stuff.
Right.
But he was under contract, so he had to do a sequel. But he got some good names.
He did get some good names. Well, and Young me thanks Burton for that Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman costume.
Old me
Old me still thanks him.
still thanks him. Also, yes.
How about this? Meow.
Selena Kyle. God.
And do you remember what the sign said? Before it was her neon sign at home before she died and then after she died when she hit it.
I probably
It
did.
It was a neon sign that said hello there when she got in after
it said
she
hell,
fell.
hell
Hell
here.
here.
I remember now. Oh God, that was such a cool movie.
Yeah.
We had Michelle Pfeiffer. We had Danny DeVito
As the penguin.
and like I can't think of who else could be Penguin now. Like if if Penguin came back, like that was pretty much. Well, you had Penguin in Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you had Penguin in Gotham, but like that was kind of the last little run of Penguin we had since. Like I couldn't see Penguin in the Dark Knight trilogy.
No.
This doesn't seem to fit.
Because so instead of just being a little man who liked penguins like in the comics, he actually made him like this mutant.
Yeah.
Penguin like mutant. And this actually changed Penguin in the comics.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They did a lot based off of this movie.
He really Burtonized him, though. I mean, when you look at how he looked with his nose and everything, that was a very much a Burton look.
Yeah. It's like Edward Penis Hands.
I'm just getting ready to say the studios thought the movie was a little too dark for kids, and you're going to throw your penis hands out there.
Like this.
But fun fact about this movie that is kind of conflicts some popular knowledge that people think that they have. So this came out around the same time as Nightmare Before Christmas.
It was filming the same time.
Filming the same time because it took 3 years to do Nightmare Before Christmas, I think.
Yep.
But because of that schedule, he did not direct A Nightmare Before Christmas, unlike a lot of people think. Yeah. I don't think I knew that either because he was busy with Batman Returns. But he did produce. I mean, his influence, his hand was heavy in it. He just didn't actually direct the movie.
So it was written by Carolyn Thompson, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Who was his frequent collaborator in writing.
Okay.
Back then. Not sure about now. Let me look real quick. But she's the one who actually wrote it, but it was based on his original story, world, and characters from high school. He created all these when he was young.
Well, there's a little bit of a theory going around that from Frankenweenie to Nightmare Before Christmas to Corpse Bride, that those are all not necessarily connected in the same universe, but they're representations of him. Something about him and his dog, because there's a dog theme in not a dog theme, but you had Zero in Nightmare Before Christmas. And I can't remember the name of the dog in Corpse Bride. That was very Zero-ish.
Well, and why we liked it because the dog was a Scotty. Or was it a Westie? I think it was a Scotty.
But Nightmare Before Christmas, I mean, it made $50 million. He got back with Disney in a roundabout way here. It was produced and released under Touchstone, which we talked about this we've talked about this before. There we go. Touchstone was an arm of Disney that released things that weren't necessarily the Disney image, your animated Disney movies of the time. Like that, so that was a lot of Touchstone then. So he got back with Disney a little bit. It's Danny Elfman again. I mean, iconic soundtrack by Danny Elfman.
It is one of my favorite soundtracks that I can listen to all the time. And I love the guy who's Oogie Boogie's voice anyway. Yeah.
Oogie Boogie's great. And then it just spurred, there's covers upon covers upon covers of all the songs from that. That I like digging and finding those covers. It took him 3 years and 100 people to do the stop motion animation,
which is nuts.
Yep.
So, we move on to 94. Cabin Boy. I remember watching this in the theaters. and then I rented it from Blockbuster.
So he was supposed to direct this, but it looks like he only ended up producing, right?
Yeah.
Because what was he doing? at
So
the time?
Cabin Boy is a terrible, terrible movie, but I love it so much because he did it because of Chris Elliott, comedian Chris Elliott, who's one of my favorite comedians in the world. Chris Elliott, if you remember, he was from Get a Life.
Mhm.
I remember Dad and I used to watch that all the time. And like, there's one part where they were playing Georgie Girl, and Chris Elliott was twirling in the streets, yelling for new friend. It was just such a stupid show. It was so funny.
Oh, it flopped hard though.
Yeah, it flopped really, really hard because he's also, if you remember, this is the one where he meets Shiva, the 6-armed goddess,
Yeah.
the deity, and he ends up having sex with her. And this is the one with like the really busty headpiece. I forget what they're called on the ship too.
Oh yeah,
She was like alive though. And he comes out of there and he goes, "These cabins are clean," after he had sex with her.
I haven't thought about this movie in so long.
I haven't either, but I just remember it. And it was Bill Murray's older brother too.
Brian Murray.
Yep. Who's very recognizable.
They had a budget of $10 million to make this movie.
It was terrible. Like
At box office, $3.7 million.
Burton wanted to make this with Chris Elliott because of Get a Life. Burton was a fan of the show.
Probably would have been a way different movie if he would have. It probably would have at least made budget if his name was tied to it as director, because people would have watched it.
Exactly. But it was Adam Resnick who did it.
The reason he couldn't work on that is because he was working on another film.
What film was that?
That was Ed Wood.
Which was actually, I thought was a good movie.
That's one that's on my list. I keep thinking every time I see it pop up in anything, I need to watch this. I think I've started it before, which happens a lot, but I haven't watched all of Ed Wood. I know. Shake your head at me. Judge me. Also, you in the audience, judge me.
Yeah. So, well, okay. Going back to Adam Resnick, it's not the first time he worked with him. Real quick.
Okay.
Adam Resnick was also one of the writers for Saturday Night Live.
Oh.
And Death to Smoochie, Larry Sanders Show. He was also the creator of Get a Life.
Okay. So there's where that. that
He was a very well-known writer. Like he wrote for the Letterman Show and stuff like that too. But yeah. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, we had Ed Wood. One of the few movies that Elfman didn't do the score with. Apparently, they had a little tiff, a little squabble,
Lovers tiff,
little lovers tiff, and we jump forward to 96, James and the Giant Peach.
I love that movie and I love that book.
That that's again, you watch it and it's that style, just very recognizable.
Do you know what James and the Giant Peach was based off of?
Oh, it was off the book that Roald Dahl.
Ronald Dahl did. Yeah.
He did a lot of big stuff.
Yeah.
Giant Peaches.
Giant Worms.
And then we get, after James and the Giant Peach, that's what I'm really excited about. I started watching this again the other night. Mars Attacks. I absolutely fucking love this movie. And I can say this about a movie that I haven't watched in years, that if it's I've got this urge to really want to watch it again. I started a few nights ago before we even talked about really
I need to
hashing out
rewatch that. Yeah.
doing the Tim Burton episode. So what was weird? So I watched Mars Attacks. We get Jack. I mean, we get Jack Nicholson back in this as in multiple roles. Pierce Brosnan was in it.
They got some big names for this.
Who else was in this? I was trying to do this
Annette
off the top of my head.
Sarah Jessica Parker,
Sarah
Annette
Jessica
Bening,
Parker.
Glenn Close, Danny DeVito, Michael J. Fox, Martin Short, Rod Steiger. Tom Jones was himself, if you remember.
Tom Jones always plays himself.
Yes.
In anything that has anything to do with Vegas.
Natalie Portman, Lisa Marie Presley.
Mm-hmm. Jim Brown.
Pam
Grier, a young Pam Grier. Younger.
And
I
Jack
didn't
Black.
realize, I didn't catch that until I was rewatching it the other night. It's like, man, that was the brother that was in the military.
Riggy Goo Goo.
Jack Black played Billy Glenn that was going into the army. And God, it was just such a cool movie.
You're forgetting someone really important who we love too.
I forgot somebody?
Uh-huh. We
Glenn
love
Close?
this person.
Who did I forget? You said Natalie Portman, Michael J. Fox, Danny DeVito, Jack Nicholson, Pierce Brosnan, Martin Short, Rod Steiger. Who am I missing? That we love. Pam Grier. Who is it?
Joe Don Baker is Richie's dad.
He is?
Yes.
Hold on, I need the full cast then.
Joe Don Baker is Richie's dad. You know how old Joe Don Baker is now? I had to look this up.
How old is he?
85.
What?
Well, think about it. Mitchell was like the 70s.
He's still alive? He is.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe Don.
Standing death threat against the cast at MST3K.
Just
Yeah, he's Richie's dad.
such a. Oh, yeah, he is. God dang it. And I miss. Still one of my favorite movies. Like it kind of plays on. What's funny is it plays on War of the Worlds a little bit. But it came out really close to. Was this after Independence Day came out? I think it was.
I don't remember.
I think it was. Mars Attacks is just one of those. It's just a fun freaking movie. Okay, so it came out in '96. Let me see when Independence Day came out. Because some people were calling it, a little bit of a spoof of Independence Day, like an unintentional spoof.
Let freedom ring.
Independence Day came out in '90. So these came out the same year. I don't know which one came out first. So two very different alien invasion movies. Like if you're not watching the YouTube, you can't see it. That's my background for our little call here. Here's Mars Attacks. And so you got the cool alien, like I like their little floppy gills thingies they have. They're like skeleton faces, but they're not. The big brains. You got their big giant robot things that they walk around in, the bugs.
How
you
they
kind
talk.
of see, let me see if I can point right. Like over here. I'm guessing this is Vegas. Did you say it's Vegas in the wallpaper background thingy that I'm
I
using?
think it's Vegas.
And then, yeah, because it looks like there's casinos falling over. Then right behind that, where, let me move my head. Because I got some of it blocked. You see it there. There's the big robot. And then down below, there's the people on fire. And if you look close enough, you can see Mephisto in the back of that fire.
Jesus Christ.
Urging them on. He's been
This
there the
isn't
whole
even
time.
a Marvel product.
Nope. That's how powerful he is.
That's not even a fucking Marvel product or Disney.
Mm-hmm. That's how powerful Mephisto is.
That's not cool.
Yeah. Two nights in a row, buddy.
Christ.
But yeah, if you've never seen Mars Attacks, I'm surprised at how many people haven't seen it.
It's a fun movie.
It kind of flew a little bit under the radar, but it was so good. It was an all-star cast.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go back to it here. I just want to look and see how much money this damn movie made. Surely it did good. Surely. I just like that he got Jack Nicholson back and got him to play two roles. Oh, what was funny about that, or what was odd about that? So I started watching it. Jack Nicholson plays the president of the United States, and he also plays a sketchy hotel developer in Vegas.
Yeah,
plays
he
two
does.
roles. And so, like the next day after watching that, rewatching it, I was listening to a Robin Williams stand-up on the way back from a conference for work, and Robin Williams was talking about, no celebrity presidents or something like that. And he's like, except for Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson would be a cool president. It's like, he was a cool president. He was a cool president in Mars Attacks. He's done it before. Let's see how much money this movie makes. I'm really curious. It had a big budget. He had a $70 million budget to make this. I guess he would have to with all the people that are in it.
One
But
thing
still,
about it, at
box
the
office
time
100.
frame in the computer animation at the time was
Was really
nowhere
good.
near what it is. So it was way more expensive during that time to
Mhm.
do.
It holds up fairly well for being, an
I
almost
think it does.
30-year-old movie. But yeah, the box office 101 million. So there was some money made there. And then he kind of gets back into, or he's more live action from here on out. But still a really Burtonized feel. We have Sleepy Hollow in 99. We get Johnny Depp again.
Mm-hmm. Which Sleepy Hollow.
It's okay.
Who was in Sleepy Hollow with it? Johnny Depp.
He had. Let's
You
see, who
know
else
this,
was in
too.
here?
Who was the main character, female?
Well, we had Christina Ricci.
Yep. Yeah.
That's. Now I just have to go back and watch this movie again. But another $70 million budget movie made $207 million in the box office. So he makes some of the monies. There were some supporting roles. I think Christopher Walken was in there.
Yeah, I think he was the he was like the mayor or something.
Where did he play? Who was he?
Let's look.
We're looking.
We're looking.
Oh, he was the Hessian Horseman. Christopher Walken was the Headless Horseman.
Was he really?
Yeah. And of course, Christina Ricci. Oh,
Jeffrey Jones was in there too.
oh yeah. He was
That
the Reverend.
reunited. Yeah. Jeffrey Jones, who was also in Beetlejuice.
Lisa Marie was in there. She was in.
Who was he
Another
in
movie.
Beetlejuice? He was
Oh God. Now I go back and look. I see his face. Like you see his face, you know who he
right.
was.
So
but-
he was also Dr. Jennings and Howard the Duck, if you remember. He was in Ed Wood as Criswell, and he was Mr. Rooney in Ferris Bueller. For those
Christopher
of you
Lee was in this.
who
Sir
need
Christopher
reminding who he
Lee.
is.
Was he Sir Christopher Lee? He's knighted, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was Sir Christopher Lee.
Yep.
Before he died.
And of course, we get Johnny Depp. So we get some more Depp.
Ian McDermott was in there. I didn't
Ian?
know that. Ian.
Hmm.
Is Ian? Ian.
Ian.
Yeah, and
Yes.
how do we know him? It's recent. It's so recent.
Oh, he's Palpatine.
Yeah.
Go for Palpatine.
Go for Palpatine, Palpatine.
Ian McDermott.
Isn't that
So-
nuts?
That's cool. Now I want to go back and watch this one too. God dang
I
it.
kind of do too.
Like you're throwing me down. I'm going down this rabbit hole of
Casper Van Dien was in it.
I'm not going to watch a crap ton of Tim Burton over Halloween time. I'm not going to be that guy. And now I want to because of these movies. I was fighting it.
Oh, Richard Griffiths was in it too.
I was really fighting it, Chris.
Do you know who Richard Griffiths is? Who we would recognize him mostly as? Uncle Vernon from Harry Potter.
Oh, so you get a lot of good names from this. Like I say, you see Lisa Marie. She's popped up a couple times in some of these other movies.
So, like Kyle was saying, he knows who he likes and he keeps reusing them.
Let's see, what do you have after this? So this was, when I was looking at the list, a movie I had completely forgot about. After Sleepy Hollow in 2001, we had Planet of the Apes.
Oh, Michael Goh was in there too.
Hold on. Michael who?
Michael Goh.
Where? Go where?
And in Sleepy Hollow. He's another one who he reused.
Mhm.
He used him in Corpse Bride. You will most likely remember him as Alfred in Batman.
Oh, he was in the 89 Batman?
89 Batman, Batman Returns, Batman and Robin.
Yeah, he was Alfred through like the long run.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
He was always Alfred to me.
He'll always be our Alfred.
But yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, so we like a movie that I had completely forgot that was even made was the 2001 Planet of the Apes.
I forgot about that one. In which he claims it's not a remake.
No, it was like a odd sequel thing.
Retelling of it, maybe?
Hmm. Fun fact, seen this a few times. Like I had to go back to try to double check it. I'm going to like everything I found. So this is like legit. He has a fear of chimpanzees, Tim Burton.
Does he really?
Mm-hmm. Apparently this movie was kind of hard for him to make, but what's important, this is where he met on set Lena Bonham Carter.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Apparently he was jealous of how her and Wahlberg interacted on set. You imagine that she's like, there's Wahlberg, Tim. She's pretty hot.
Mm-hmm.
Good
In a
actress.
weird way.
Yeah, she's that weird hot, which I'm totally good with. Yeah, because then they ended up partnered up for several years. I think had a couple kids.
Mm-hmm. They have two. They were domestic partners.
Mm-hmm. So now we jump from that. We have a little bit of a gap. Like he was cranking out movies for a while. In 2005 to 2007, he was super busy. 2005, we got Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which was amazing.
A freaky one.
It was freaky, but I loved it.
No, it was good, but it was freaky.
Well, and supposedly it's a little bit more like I've never read the book.
Oh, it's great. Who wrote the book?
Yeah, Roald Dahl.
Yep.
Again,
Roald
Dahl.
Grundle.
A fun little thing they slipped in there: the factory that Charlie's dad works at in the movie makes Smilex toothpaste. That's the same name of the product that the Joker was selling in Tim Burton's Batman in '89.
Was it really?
Hmm?
Well, who else is in there? Freddie Highmore was in there, who, the good doctor.
Oh, yeah, that's when he was young.
Mm-hmm. Missy Pyle was in there. We know Missy Pyle. And one of my favorite actors, Dr. Wonka, was Christopher Lee. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Deep Roy played Oompa Loompas.
Played all the Oompa Loompas.
Deep Roy is one of the most famous little people you've ever seen because you don't know you've seen him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's old too. He was born in 49, dude.
He is old.
He was Teeny Weeny in The Never-Ending Story. He was Kinzer in Star Trek, Corpse Bride, General Bones Apart. A movie I just rewatched. He was in Legend. He was the little guy who no, my brothers. He was, the guy, the darkness, the goblin who was going to get eaten.
Mm-hmm.
He was Yoda in Empire Strikes Back. He was uncredited for it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I should have known that.
Deep Roy is awesome. Like I said, he's been in a lot of stuff that you don't know that that he's in.
But now you do know because you listen to us.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey 2001.
If you didn't know, now you do know.
Post office clerk. He was in Planet of the Apes. So, yeah, pretty cool.
Fun facts brought to you by EGTN.
Flash facts.
Mm-hmm. Fun flash facts. So he did Charlie and Chocolate Factory in 2005. 2005, he also was working on Corpse Bride.
At the exact same time.
At the exact same time with Johnny Depp again. And Helena Bonham Carter.
Yep.
So we get some more depth in this movie.
Such a shit joke, but
that was a very shit joke.
But it worked.
Corpse Bride, very similar feel to Nightmare Before Christmas. He kind of gets back to the stop motionness.
Which is a great book.
Yeah. Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was also a book. See, I'm learning so many things. So many things. You get down to it here. Corpse Bride. Yep. He co-directed with Mike Johnson, based on characters created by Burton and Carlos Gringel. We watched this the other day at the house.
You and the kids.
Kiddos wanted to watch it. Yep.
It's a great movie.
And then the following year, he did his first music video, Bones by the Killer.
By the Killers, yep. As you can tell, that went well because you've never heard of that.
Exactly.
2007, he did Sweeney Todd. What is it? The Demon of Barber Street, or the Barber of Demon Street?
The Demon Barber of crap. I had it and I lost it.
Basically, it was him and Helena again.
Yeah.
And he played the barber who liked to slit the throats of his customers with a straight edge.
Yep.
And then he gave it to his domestic partner, who made them into pies, meat pies.
You know, I love meat pies.
I do love meat pies,
I love me a good old meat pie.
especially if they're named Jim or Chove.
Let's see. Then he did 9. 9 was a cool movie.
I loved 9. I remember seeing that in the theater because it was unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah. I didn't watch it in theater. I watched it at home. I think I may have the Blu-ray.
Were you like 3?
Hmm?
Were you like 3 when you watched it?
No, I
4?
was like
5?
30 something. Oh, I see what you're doing, you son of a bitch. I see what you're doing now. But this was his first his first non-live action movie that wasn't stop motion.
It was all CG, wasn't it?
I think so.
Well, and it wasn't his idea either.
Hmm.
He saw this guy, the guy who directed it. It was his.
Yeah.
He did a short film about it. Not Johnny Depp. Burton saw it and said, "I want to make this a full film."
Yep. So,
So
did
they
he just
did.
produce it?
I think
What
he
did
produced.
What did he do here? Let me go back to it real quick. I'm looking. Comic-Con. What year was this?
07.
For 9?
I think it was 07. I think. What's that? 9.
Oh, he just produced it.
N-E-I-N.
Yeah, he didn't write or direct, but he did produce.
9 was in 2009.
Yep. So he didn't direct, but he produced. And then we get in 2010, we get Alice in Wonderland, who also has Helena Bonham Carter in it again.
Bring me my fat boys.
Mhm. I
love
liked
that
her
one.
in this though.
I did too.
I
Bring
liked
me
her a
my
lot in
fat
this.
boys. And she had that weird lisp too.
Mhm.
And then do you remember who Tweedledee and Tweedledum were?
I do not. Oh god, it's been so long since I watched it.
Matt Lucas. Matt Lucas, who was a companion in Doctor Who. He's the co-host right now of the Great British Bake Off.
Mhm.
He's the little gay, bald, albino one, basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I recognize you now.
He was also in Pitch Perfect. He was the brother
Mhm.
of Rebel Wilson. And most famously known with David Willems from Little Britain.
There was
Like
some
when
good-
my oldest she'll always start going, no, yeah, but Dad, no, Daddy. And, she'll just start doing this. Matt Lucas had this character on Little Britain.
Yeah.
I think her name was Vicky. He was always dressed like her, dressed in like a windsuit. And they're like, Vicky, did you do this? She's like, yeah, but right, but no. Then she went off and then she went into the bushes and then she was all like this. And I was like, no, but. And she was like, yes, but then I was like, no. I was like, ooh, why are you doing that? And she goes, no, but yeah, but no, but yeah, but no. Why can't I talk about that? And why, you know what I'm saying? And she do that all the time. And it is hilarious.
We get Johnny Depp again, of course. Mad Hatter. Forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. He was the Hatter.
He was
with
the
that
Hatter.
weird Hatter dance.
And I got too many tabs open now. Let me close some things here.
Which he was amazing in that because he took the Hatter as a Scotsman.
Mhm.
Like when he was doing that speech, like it was kind of cool.
He made it work. And then he produced this. So Burton produces the sequel in 2016, Alice Through the Looking Glass. And then we get Burton, Depp, Carter, and Elfman together again in Dark Shadows. Not a fan?
No, I did not like the original TV show was cool.
Mhm.
I did not like this movie.
This is what I always get. Like, I know the difference, but in conversation, I always get Dark Shadows and What We Do in the Shadows
Oh, it's so different.
confused. Like, I get those mixed up all the time. And see, then we got 2012, Abe Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Cool movie.
I liked that movie.
I liked it just because
Abe
just-
Lincoln liked the horse.
it just was what it was. It was just a over the top. It was cool. Then we're kind of getting down to the end of the room because we're catching up now. We're like in 2014, directed biographical drama Big Eyes. I didn't think I watched that.
It was a great movie.
Mhm.
It was a great movie. It's about this lady, 50s or 60s. She did this very distinctive art. It's a biopic. And all the characters had big eyes. It's like anime style.
Yeah.
Big eyes. And she took her husband to court after she divorced him because she said that he plagiarized, just put his name on all her shit.
Yep. I remember the concept of it.
It was a good movie.
Then
I'm
we
not a
get-
big biographical person.
I probably would be. That would have been one that I probably just would have watched if, like, with somebody else. Like, hey, we should watch this. And like, okay, I probably wouldn't have seeked it out myself to watch it.
Hey, you could watch it tomorrow night.
Probably not. I might watch. I'm probably going to be watching Ed Wood tomorrow night. We're going to be. That's what I really like to be watching. So
Well,
in
Ed Wood,
2016, we got
There's
Miss
a lot of wood.
Perry Jane's Home for Peculiar
A lot of
Children.
wood.
And then 2019, we get live action Dumbo.
I still have yet to see that.
The live action Dumbo.
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't. I think the kids have watched it.
Eh.
But there's some I want to go back and watch now, or like rewatch. After we're going through this, like I was saying earlier, I'm fighting the Tim Burton urge during October because that's what everybody does.
Right.
Like, we're gonna watch Nightmare Before Christmas and Corpse Bride, and then we're going to fucking watch Hocus Pocus and drink pumpkin spice lattes and all that. Like, no. But now I might go watch rewatch a couple of these. Like, I may watch Sweeney Todd again.
So was the live action Dumbo, was it as good as Ivan the Great? You haven't seen Ivan the Great?
No.
You need to, when the kiddos come over next week.
Mhm.
You need to watch it
Ivan
on
the
Disney
Great.
Plus. It's a book. My oldest, my wife read it, and Lily read it. It is such a great movie.
All right. I'll put a pin in that one.
It's a great family movie. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
So, yeah, and that's pretty much like,
The brief history of Tim Burton.
and kind of his impact that's been made, because as you can tell, like from Kyle and I, oh yeah. No, I love that. Or I remember that. No, do you remember this?
Mhm.
That's the impact Burton's had over his 35-year career.
I love stuff like that when it's not obvious in your face, like, oh, you didn't know this. Of
Uh-huh.
course, we're like, oh, like you have those little moments of, okay, that makes sense that he did this.
Yep.
Or they're like, I had no idea that he did this. And you start seeing how things are tying together and his influences on not just like movies in general or genres in general. I mean, he was a huge influence on superhero movies, huge
Mhm.
influence on creepy children's holiday or Halloween holiday type movies. Creepy kids movies that could be watched in general. I mean, we didn't even touch on, the unrealized projects, the things that he didn't do. We can probably just, we got time. We can kind of go through it really quick. I've got a list here. I don't know if you had your list.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So I'll throw some cool ones out there, and without you looking at them, I want your reaction.
Okay.
Great.
Yep.
So of course there were the Beetlejuice sequel attempts that didn't happen. Big Top Pee Wee, he didn't do. This
You can
surprised
tell
me.
he didn't do Big Top Tree.
So before Michael Crichton's novel Jurassic Park was published, Hollywood studios were highly interested in purchasing the film rights. Warner Brothers and Burton. Warner Brothers was interested in Jurassic Park and having Burton do Jurassic Park. Ultimately goes to Universal and Spielberg. But could you imagine a Burtonized Jurassic Park?
Can you
Probably all
imagine
stop motion.
Wayne Knight in that? As he's going, oh, look, there you are. And instead of the dinosaur, the spitter spitting on him and melting his face.
No, it probably wouldn't have even been him. It would have been
a dance scene.
No, Wayne Knight wouldn't have played Nedry. It would have been let me find his name here. I know exactly who would have been Nedry if it would have been Burtonized. And that would have been Glenn Shaddix, who played Otho.
Oh yeah. I love Otho.
Would have been your Nedry.
Oh, I loved Otho.
Let's see. He was really close to in '94 doing directing an adaptation of The Fall of the House of Usher, which it's Edgar Allan Poe. I'm surprised he hasn't done some more of that. He was slated to direct Superman Lives, which was the Kevin Smith rewrite of a script called Superman Reborn, which I think eventually got shelved.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. And that was in the 90s, I think. Yeah, that was in the 90s. Goosebumps. There was a Goosebump film in the works in 98.
Really?
They had the option for him to direct, and that basically got shelved until the one that came out in 2015.
Yeah. Okay. A Burton Goosebumps would have been awesome.
Would have been freaking awesome. Mm-hmm. I'd love to see a Burton. What was the Beast? A Goosebumps movie, the one about the roller coaster and the theme park.
Yes.
I don't know if that. Okay, yeah. We need to do an R.L. Stine episode.
Yeah, we do.
He was working on Tim Burton's Lost in Oz in the early 2000s. They did film a pilot episode, but it became unproduced due to budget constraints, which that would have been cool. Tim Burton, Wizard of Oz.
Yes, that would have been awesome. Okay, that would have been the perfect Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm. There was a Ripley's Believe It or Not movie with Jim Carrey portraying Robert Ripley, and the writers from Ed Wood helping with the script. Ran over budget and was shelved by Paramount. And then that's when he went on to do Sweeney Todd. So we could have seen Burton and Carrey working together. The Nightmare Before Christmas sequel, which he has been adamantly against.
I agree with him.
He felt like it would be a cash out. Like it needs to stand alone.
I agree with him.
There's still some interest for it. That there's in February 2019, there was talks that there's a new film in the work with Disney considering either a stop motion sequel or a live action remake. So he may have had a little change of heart.
I hope not.
There was a Batman musical that was in the works, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory musical, third Pee Wee Herman film.
Oh, my parents have been shot. Pearls on the ground.
There was a planned stop motion Addams Family film. That
would have been cool.
That would have been cool. There was a 2011 Hunchback of Notre Dame film that got scrapped, but it was supposed to feature and be co-produced by Josh Brolin.
Oh, wow.
So that's another, there's all these cool things. He was tied to Maleficent for a little while. There's a Dark Shadow sequel. There was, in 2012, The Adventures of Pinocchio, which was supposed to be basically a retelling of the Pinocchio story with Robert Downey Jr. But instead, Burton went on to Big Eyes.
Right.
Let's see. What else was cool here? That's about it. those are some of the bigger ones. Like it's a huge long list of things that he almost did. A Catwoman movie was Mary Riley. I thought the Jurassic Park one that's the one that really stuck with me.
That would have been cool. I really, really would have liked that.
Mhm.
I really would have liked that.
So yeah, learned some cool stuff. That was a fun one.
It was fun.
Wasn't all super creepy for October, but there's still a lot of creepiness in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, we'll have one more. Let's see,
One or two more spooky ones.
one more after this one, because
Really?
Halloween's on Sunday.
Oh yeah, it's got Monday. Yep, we got 2 more spoopy episodes coming out.
Yep.
They're in the works. We're not going to spoil them for you. Not because we don't know what they're going to be, but we just don't want to spoil you.
No, this is one of them. We only have one more spoopy.
We have one more spoopy.
And then we have the November activities.
Yep, we'll talk about those in the next episode.
Yep.
So what are you reading or watching this week, Christopher?
I'm thinking about starting Lock and Key up again because season 2 starts this week, next Friday. Or in 2 weeks, the 22nd. So I'm thinking about Lock and Key again because I love the books. And I've got to finish the season 3 of Titans.
Okay.
Because that just ended. And supposedly there is a Kingdom Come reference in there. We still got to catch up on Doom Patrol. Again, goes back to episode 1, just not enough time for shit. And then Young Justice season 3 is supposed to be out, I think, this week. Which that is a phenomenal show. So I'm really excited about all those. So
You got
what
a
do
full plate.
I do. And I will watch probably none of it because I'll be
Stay
reformatting this new
busy.
hard drive.
Well, this
What are you
week,
watching or reading?
the only thing I really watched this week, because I've been busy with conferences and stuff for work, I finally got to sit down and watch Black Widow today.
What'd you think?
I liked it.
It was good, wasn't it?
I really, really, really liked it.
They gave her her due, but they still haven't given her her due.
Yeah.
Her doo-doo.
I'm still wondering how. I bet she ends up making that. We got multiverse stuff coming up, so
I think ScarJo's done. I think that her sister is the new Widow now.
you think?
Yeah.
I loved her sister in this movie though. So
she
funny.
was great. Florence Pugh.
Is that her name? I haven't even got to IMDb stuff. Like I finished
She was famous for. She got famous for what is it? Wrestling with My Family. She played Paige.
Okay. I love David Harbour in it.
Oh, David Harbour was amazing as Red Guardian. Okay.
So funny.
So did you see the part? They might have snuck in mutants in that movie.
You think? Where?
When he's in the prison arm wrestling.
Yeah.
With Ursa Major. The big guy.
Yeah.
Ursa Major is part of his Russian Avengers team in the comics.
Oh.
He is a mutant who can morph into a giant bear. Giant Russian brown bear.
That's who that was?
So they could have snuck in mutants already.
Could have. I just liked him in the whole thing. And we've talked about before the Marvel. Like it's not in your face funny stuff. It's just like these little things here and there that just the way that they talked with each other. I really enjoyed it.
I did too. Okay, what did you think about Taskmaster?
Cool character. I didn't know the backstory going into it. I don't know if it's comic canon or not. I loved the visual of Taskmaster a lot, and the reveal surprised me.
Yeah. The reveal surprised everyone because it is not comic accurate.
Which I'm fine with that.
So
some people
I had a little bit of problem with it because it's not how Taskmaster is supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I got over it. But it just kind of griped me because I'm like, this isn't really Taskmaster. Call it something else.
Yeah.
Like Subtaskmaster or
Micromanage master.
Micromanage Master, going to the grocery store master.
Yeah.
Something.
I like the family dynamicness, and there's a little bit of twist. I thought it was a good movie.
It was all in all, it was a great movie though.
I think it's. I kind of when I look at movies like that, I think, okay, will I watch this again?
I would.
And I would probably watch it again. If it gets a rewatch out of me, out of liking it, then yeah, it's a good movie. If it's a rewatch because like, what the fuck happened that ruined this movie, that's not a good rewatch.
No, it's
But
not.
this would have a good rewatch. So.
Well, with that, this has been Every Man's Guide to Nerddom. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle. Wherever you guys are, have a great night, evening, morning, whatever time it is. And please be good to each other.
See ya.
See ya.
Nerd core could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerd core could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made up word. MCs shied away from